a new study came out that looked at semaglutide 2.4 with a new drug that is what is considered an amylin analog, which is another hormone in the body that this drug company thought would pair well with semaglutide. And the crazy thing about this results, it was an early phase trial. The crazy thing about the results is people lost 17% of their body weight at 20 weeks. That's insane. 17% of their body weight at 20 weeks. We haven't seen anything like that in terms of the amount of weight loss in that amount of time. So really remarkable. And that study is an early phase trial, so they're going to take it to the next phase. It was initially just set to kind of look at the safety and tolerability and sort of basic efficacy of the drug. So it's going to go into kind of later stage testing with much bigger numbers. You might be able to sign up for it. It's a study that's being done through Novo Nordisk. So that's the drug manufacturer. So really exciting things. Combination medication is a GLP-1 and amylin analog. And it's going to be long acting, meaning it's going to be a once a week injectable. And it's going to be really easy to take because of that. I think people are going to have an easy time taking it, and it's really exciting. We'll just have to see, obviously, as the trials come out, make sure it's safe, that combination safe, and that they're not any big safety stuff as they do larger and larger studies with that combo. Really exciting things. The other point I wanted to talk about this new medicine that's really exciting is that it's using a medicine we know that works, right, which is semaglutide. That's been studied now, a number of studies we've talked about at the new higher weight loss dose that's 2.4 milligrams that's currently being under FDA review for approval. Hopefully it will be approved later this year. That's the early sign I've been told by some of the people involved in that process. The crazy thing about this study is they gave no advice. Literally all they did is gave the person medication. They didn't give them any education about diet, exercise, nothing. Just got the medicine, and they lost 17% of their body weight. The reason that's so remarkable, and it may not initially sound remarkable to you all, but the reason that's remarkable from my end is that all the best lifestyle interventions, so the best diet and exercise and behavioral studies, all of the best studies, if you look at the long-term results on weight loss, it's about 5%. Long-term, people only lose about 5% with just diet and exercise. There's some variation there, but it's really about 5% if you look at really the best studies done. So not a lot of weight loss is generated over the long term with just diet and exercise changes alone. When they just gave this medication over 20 weeks, no exercise advice, lifestyle advice, it produced 17% weight loss at 17 weeks, or at 20 weeks, guys. That's crazy. That means, and what that tells us, if you think about it, is that obesity, as we know, and as you've heard on my channel, it's a disease, right? It's not a deficiency of effective lifestyles. It's not an issue of you're not working out enough, you're not eating the right things enough, you're struggling to make the right choices. It has nothing to do with that, guys. And this study proves it to us. When you correct the physiology that's driving the disease, right, with these medications that I've talked a lot about, then people do better, and they do better by a lot better than people that consistently try via diet and exercise. So it's a disease, and this study continues to prove it, that with appropriate treatment, people can lose a significant amount of weight and really improve their health. So that's why I thought it was really remarkable. And I understand the issue a lot of you guys have had in the past is like, how do we get access? No doubt, that is a problem. That is an issue that's going to have to be addressed. But I suspect a lot of the issues around access to medications are no doubt bias from a prior generation, a prior time period where we didn't consider obesity to be a disease, a prior time period where weight loss physicians and weight loss specialists were people that were kind of sleazy salesmen that were kind of like backdoor. And so there was a lot of this sort of negative connotation around the treatment of weight, not really acknowledging it as a real condition. And so to this day, a lot of the policies in place around access to medications and effective treatments are dealing with the bias from prior time periods. And so when we have these new studies that come out, like the new semaglutide studies that show a bunch of people lose 20% or more of their body weight, their cardiovascular health improves, their diabetes improves, all these other factors, that's going to really start moving the needle. The more evidence we have, the more that people will no longer be able to say, okay, this isn't effective, people aren't benefiting from it. They'll have to look at the data, and the data is very clear that it's going to be a huge benefit to a lot of people. So I think access is only going to improve more. But you're right, there's going to have to be some changes at a policy level, insurance level, many elements of the healthcare system to make them more accessible and more cost effective for a lot of people. Yes, you gain weight when you gain weight back or a percentage of the weight back after you stop taking it. And I would frame it this way, Cheryl. If you stopped taking your chemotherapy drug that was curing you from your cancer or helping get rid of your cancer, would your cancer come back? Yeah, it would. If you stopped taking your blood pressure medicine that was controlling your blood pressure, would your blood pressure go back up? Yes, it would. So the point I'm trying to make is any effective intervention, if you stop it, you're right, the disease will take back over. We don't have to date a cure. Um, we don't have a cure for most chronic diseases. Oftentimes, what we do is manage them because if you stop doing what you're doing, then the disease can often come back. So I think that's the way I would frame it. That I think makes a lot more sense when you view it that way as opposed to, oh, it's going to be something I have to take the rest of my life. Yeah, you're right. It will be because these are chronic conditions, long-term conditions that you have to deal with the rest of your life. And to that point, that's why we always talk about prevention is always better than cure because it becomes exceedingly more difficult to have to treat somebody when they've already developed many weight-related health issues. So if we can intervene earlier before they come on, the better. But still, the exciting time is right now. We're seeing so much good treatment and development, and that will be available that are really going to impact people's lives for the better. Are there side effects? Yes, there are always side effects with medications, no doubt. The biggest side effects we see with a lot of these injectable medications are GI related. So, like, if any of you guys have been on a GLP-1 agonist like Saxenda or semaglutide or Trulicity, which is dulaglutide, they'll tell you that some people get some constipation, diarrhea, nausea. In the extreme cases, it can get vomiting. Those are the most common side effects that we see. It's a really exciting time in my field. Semaglutide 2.4 is in the process of being FDA approved. Uh, People had remarkable results. Many people losing 16% of their body weight throughout the duration of the study. A large percentage of those individuals that got semaglutide went on to lose even more weight, 20% or more. At least a third to 40% of the experimental arm lost greater than 20%. Crazy. These drugs that are coming out, they're going to be game changers, guys. They're going to be incredible. Will they only be effective as long as you're taking them? Yes. So to everyone asking those questions, absolutely yes. Once again, a medication and the effect that it produces is only as effective and lasts only as long as you're taking it, right? And that's true for any intervention. So just keep that in mind.